Hey basketball coaches, today I'm going to give you my top 5 press break basketball plays that are going to be fantastic from 2020 and beyond. Anyways, really quickly, I just want to let you know that down on the timeline of this video, I have split up this video and all future videos into chapters so you can navigate between different plays a lot easier and a lot faster. But anyways, let's get down to the clipboard. Let's check out these basketball plays. Hit that like button and subscribe if you like further videos, of course. Let's check these out. Okay, so the red team, if you don't already know, they're on defense. Anyways, so they are currently running a diamond 1-2-1-1 press. In a 1-2-1-1, this is going to be a very popular defense, and we've been starting to see it become even more and more popular, mainly because NBA teams are starting to run it, and of course lots of NCAA teams are running it as well. Now, what we want to do in every single press break, especially against the 1-2-1-1, is to get that ball right there. So what I have here is number 5, our tallest player on the court. We need him to be there. We're going to have player 1 pop out towards this side, and player 3 is going to inbound that ball. That's going to rotate these players just like this. We're going to then reverse that ball and get player 2 to go super wide. We need to do this reverse super quick and out to player 2 as fast as we can. This way, when we are shuffling our defense over, we need to get that ball into the middle of the court. At this time, I want to see player 3 running up the sideline, and I want to see player 1 running up the sideline as well. The reason for this is as soon as player 3 makes that pass, I need him to run. I need player 1 to run as soon as he makes that pass as well, so that when player 5 gets that ball, he turns, he pivots, and now he looks at either player 3 or player 1, so that one of those players should be open. And at this point, they are starting to collapse because they need that ball to go towards the sideline. And of course, we've gotten the ball towards the middle. We get it over to player 1 in this case, and now we can set up our offense. Now, I personally really like that press break, mainly because it doesn't really need any. It doesn't need any dribbling of the ball. Just pass, 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 pass. Couple of dribbles in your past half court. That's literally all it is. It's fantastic. This is something that I run every single time we run up against a 1-2-1-1. I will call out timeout as soon as possible, and then I just basically say to my players, you're standing here, you're standing there, you're standing here, you're running over towards this corner, you're inbounding the ball, and that's essentially all that is. It's super simple. So now we're going up against a 1-2-1-1. However, this does work against a 2-2-1 or a 1-3-1. It doesn't really matter. This works against all of them. So what we're going to have is our inbounding player, player 1, which is our point guard. Then we have 2 of our fastest players on the court at half court. Then we have our center all the way back. Now, what we're going to be doing here is having player 1, he's going to be going towards this corner. At the same time, we're going to be having player 2 sprint down, and we're going to be having player 4 sprint towards the middle of the court. So player 1 gets that ball, player 3 runs inbounds, now the defense is shuffling or sliding over. We have player 1 sprinting towards that mid-court, and we have player 2 sprinting towards the baseline. Again, we swing that ball around. That's going to be swinging this defense. And now what I want to see happen is player 5 sprinting towards that side who has that ball. Now player 2 has an option. He can pass to player 4 or he can pass to player 5. If player 5 is open, I really do not want him near that sideline. I want him within that volleyball court that's on most basketball courts. That's roughly where the volleyball court would be. If you're in a high school that has a volleyball court, you want to be inside of it. So if we pass to player 5, he can wait until we set up the offense, or he can take one dribble towards the middle, and now we can wait until we set up our offense. Or we can pass to player 4. Player 3 is still going to be running up that sideline. The reason why we want to do this is because now we want to have that defense still shifting over and leaving player 1 open to sprint up this sideline. So now player 4, if he was to get that ball, if he was to get the ball to player 1, and we are fast enough at passing this ball, we actually have a 2-on-1 situation down court. Now that's actually a very similar play to the last one I just showed you, just a little bit different at the beginning. The first play I showed you is just something that you could actually quite literally draw up in the middle of the game, while the second play, even though it's very similar, you would want to practice that one first. So now this third play is a bit more difficult, but it's still ridiculously amazing at how well it works. So I am showing you this play against a 2-2-1. This play will also work against a 3-2 type of three-quarter court zone, but 2-2-1 is kind of a fairly popular press, but this can also work against a 1-2-1-1, but we don't really want to have three players up front. Full court. So 2-2-1 or maybe a 1-3-1 would work as well, but not the diamond 1-2-1 I showed you at the beginning. So what we're going to have here is our point guard here, our inbounder, then we have three players at half. Basically, we're going to have player one sprint totally straight towards the net and receive that ball. That's going to collapse these front two players, or if it's a 1-3-1, it's going to collapse that one single player. At this time, what I want to see happen is player 3 make a decision depending on what the defense is doing. If the defense is shifting towards this right side because the ball is on this side, I want him to sprint out towards that far side. If, however, he sees that the defense is straight up and only these two players are trapping, I want him to go up this same side over here. So I'm going to show you both different options here. So the first option, we're going to have player 3 getting that ball and collapsing these two players, and we're going to have player 5 sprint towards that 3-point line and player 4 get wide, but again staying away from that sideline. If this is the case, we can get that ball to either player 5 or 4. Either player, it doesn't matter which one gets that ball. I want player 2 sprinting towards the rim, because what's going to happen here is if player 5 is not paying attention, that's going to be an easy pass. If player 4 gets that ball and player 5 comes out, again, easy pass. Or if player 5 gets that ball and player 5 retreats, we now have the ball past half court with player 4. Now, if the defense is slightly over towards the side of where the inbounding player is, I want to see player 3 run inbounds on the opposite side, and I want that ball to go over to player 3. Because at this time, what's going to happen is the defense is going to shift over, and now what I want to see happen is player 5 again sprinting towards that 3-point line, and I want to see player 2 getting open. Now, depending on what's going on, we could have the pass to player 5. If that brings player 5 red up, we want to look for player 4 down deep, or to player 2. We've essentially made player 5 guard both players at the same time. As you can see, this is actually the same play as if he went this way. It's just on the opposite side of the court. So of course that one is a bit more difficult, but still a great play. Now this next play is going to be an absolute killer with almost every single basketball team. Now with this play, we actually want to have the ball go over towards the sideline. And the reason why, because this one actually baits the defense to overplay. So what we're going to have is player 1, he's going to be sprinting towards this corner. He is our backup option. He is not our number 1 option. Next, we're going to have player 4 go straight out, if not maybe on a little bit of an angle depending on what player 3 is doing. This will also work against a 2-2-1 and a 1-3-1 as well. So keep that in mind. So what we're going to have is player 4 coming out towards that corner, player 1 going down here. I want player 4 to get that ball. I really want that to happen. Now, what's going to happen is I want player 5 to sprint over towards this sideline. Meanwhile, what we've done is we have moved the defense in a way so that now we want player 5 to get that ball along that sideline. Now these players need to recover, and what I want to see happen now, player 2, as soon as player 4 gets that ball, especially he needs to move, player 2 needs to move, especially before player 4 passes that ball. And what he needs to do is move down on that far side of the court. What I need is player 3 to go straight up the middle. Player 1 is going to be the trailer. He's going to be coming back down as a safety. What's going to happen is, most cases, player 5, if he overplays, that's going to be a lob pass to player 2 who's currently cutting towards the rim. If he doesn't overplay and we start having player 4 and 3 trap, well, I want player 3 to continue across into this corner. The reason for that is now player 3 can get that ball, and that's definitely going to be having player 5 overplay. Player 3 will drive, and he can have a nice easy pass to player 2 for an easy layup. Again, that one will work against a 2-2-1 in pretty much every single press defense. So you're basically baiting the team to really trap you along the sidelines. You really need to get into your players' heads that they cannot dribble the ball when they're in that situation. We want them to catch that ball and look for a pass right away. We really do not want them to catch that ball and dribble right away, because that will create a turnover. They need to catch, pivot, look. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. That's what they need to do. It's a simple play, but also a very complicated play as well. Now, this last play is actually a very good play. We ran this play once, only once in high school, and it helped us win a playoff game to get us the championship later on. But this is a killer play. Let's get down to the play and let's check it out. Okay, so this is a full court man-to-man defense. If you're coming up against this is something that some coaches will run, especially if it's at the end of a game, you're down by, or you're up by 1 or down by 1 or whatever it may be. They just don't want you to score. This is the play they're going to run. There's always usually one safety. Whoever is that safety, we want that player to go and get that inbounds pass. As soon as he gets that pass, that means that either there's going to be a switch, that's what we really hope, or there's going to be his player sprinting down to guard that ball. Either way, every single one of these other players are going to be sprinting as fast as possible down court. He has still not dribbled the ball. They're sprinting down. His first option is, whoever is open, pass them the ball. He needs to have a good arm. This is preferably somebody who plays football. Next, if they're sprinting down and he can't find anybody, I want player 3 to run on the inside, not the outside, but the inside of player 3. He's going to get the bounce pass to player 3, and player 3 needs to be faster than his defender, because what's going to happen, he's going to be going down the middle of the court, and one of these 3 defensive players is going to turn around and guard player 3 to stop the forward momentum. At that point, he dedicates, player 2 red in this case, dedicates to guard player 3. Player 3 needs to make a quick pass to player 2 blue, and he's going to go in for the layup. So that last play is basically a Hail Mary. That's essentially what it is. But it works. It's worked once for us. It's 1-0. Yes. So, try it with your team. See what happens. I would personally, before you get to the playoffs, probably try that play once in the season and during the season, or during just a regular season type game. See how it works. And if it does, you're all set. Anyways, I hope that you've enjoyed. Hit that like button, subscribe. I hope that these press breaks help your team win more games. If they do, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.